the statistics that Black and brown children drown more often than white children is astronomical.
Because most of those communities don't have pools.
There's no access.
Yeah.
We have 6.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Empire Podcast interviews. Yes, where we interview everybody from pastors to actors, rappers to trappers, and everybody in between. And my name is Antonio The Miles. And before we get into today's guest, I want you guys to please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to build this up, right? So please support. We really appreciate each and every one of you. All right. So let's get right into the business. Let's introduce our guest. And she's an amazing woman. And she's the director of Parks and Rec. Lydie Gutfeld, is that correct?
Gutfeld, yes.
Awesome. Welcome to the podcast, Lydie.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. We're so excited to have you. So how have you been?
I've been good. I've been busy. San Bernardino keeps me busy.
Got you. Busy is good, right?
Busy is great. That's why I came here. I wanted to be busy and make sure that I was doing good things every single day, and I get to do that every single day.
Gotcha. So where'd you come from? You said that's why you came here. So where'd you come from?
I was in Mission Viejo for the City of Mission Viejo. I was the manager there of Parks and Rec for 7 years. And 13 and a half years before that, I did Irvine Parks and Rec. So,
okay, wow.
Yeah, so 2 South Orange County cities, and now I'm here, and this is where I want to be for the end of my career. So
I love it. We're glad to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
So for people who don't know or understand, Lydie, what a director of Parks and Rec does, can you help enlighten us what that role is?
Yes, that's a loaded question. So it can vary. I mean, I would say when you think about a parks director or a Parks and Rec director is somebody who is going to oversee the green space, somebody who's going to see community centers, senior centers, sometimes libraries. So pretty much anywhere where a constituent, a community member, or even somebody from an outside city wants to come in and have a service done or be a part of a program, that is Parks and Rec. And so a lot of people consider it's really hard for Parks and Rec professionals to really explain what they do, because a lot of people have the stigma that they think that they're just a glorified camp counselor because everybody's heard of camp.
Yeah.
But we are so much more than that. We are, in my opinion, we're the biggest touch point for people. And so when people ask me what I do, I make lives better.
I like that. Every day, right?
Every day.
So say if I wanted to have a barbecue at a park, would I have to go through?
That's me.
Okay.
That's us. Yeah, we do all of our park rental applications, from anything from a birthday party at a park at a gazebo all the way to a large celebration at one of our rental facilities.
Gotcha. So what's the largest celebration someone ever wanted to do?
I don't know about San Bernardino history. I've done some pretty large ones in Irvine. We were up to 1,500 people for a large, a political event, or some large celebrations in Mission Viejo as well.
Okay. So let's say I wanted to throw a festival or a concert. Same thing, I'd come to you?
Beyond me. So the rule usually is in the parks, if you're going to be 150 people or less, we can take care of a park reservation and a permit.
Okay.
If it's going to be anything more than that, then that goes over to Community Economic Development, and that is a special event permit. So a little bit different. However, I will say, having been here now for 7 months, there are quite a few individuals that are engaged in having special events, like the Art Walk, for example, where before it was a community-based group that came out and they did it on their own with permits, and now the city's gotten involved and been able to partner up to be able to provide more resources for types of events like that. So Food Fest and Art Walk are 2 wonderful examples where the city partnered up to make sure that we could help enhance and help maybe even waive some fees and do whatever we could to make sure that it was successful and that it was permitted and insured.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's cool. I hope we get some more of those type of things with the community and the stuff like that.
Well, I look forward to talking to you about one of our big events coming up in October.
Okay. We'll definitely talk about that. We'll definitely will. But so, Lydie, can you tell us a little bit of an origin story? So basically, how you grew up, blah, 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 and then to where you are now.
Wow.
And if you can give us like a synopsis of that, or, how
No,
you want to go about it.
Sure. I grew up in Europe, in the south of France, in a town called Montpellier. And
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, je parle français.
Oh, oui, oui, oui.
And my mom is an amazing woman. And I grew up with my mom and my brother. And my dad was not a great guy. So my mom did what she could to provide for us and make sure that we had what we needed to be good individuals in society. And when I was 7, my mom decided to bring me and my brother out here to the United States and live the American dream.
Okay.
My mom is a hairstylist for the entertainment business at that time. And she ended up opening up her own shop in Beverly Hills and owned it for 25 years before she just retired during COVID.
Okay.
So hair has always been her passion and her art.
Gotcha.
And so I learned through my mom that you could make people feel better. And so I always kind of looked at that as that was my first teaching, watching her making people feel better just by confidence. And that was through her hairstyles with them. And I started seeing that I had my own art in being a people person. And I started volunteering quite a bit. And that's really where I got into understanding community service. And then I kind of rebelled during my teenage years.
Gotcha.
And I got in a little bit of trouble.
You got to. You have to.
And I got some community service hours assigned to me. And so my mom dropped me off at a rec center. And that is where the story began. I had some people that believed in me. And then I was a swimmer. I was a competitive swimmer. And so I got to become a lifeguard.
Cool.
And they stuck me at the pools. And then it just kind of launched my career. So I started in Beverly Hills. Oh my gosh, in 92.
Okay.
And I started in aquatics. I became the first female park ranger in the city of Beverly Hills. And I was in charge of the Greystone Mansion, which is a historical haunted mansion, but a ton of movies are filmed there.
Interesting. In Beverly Hills?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was a really cool experience. Beverly Hills was very unique because I came from not having very much. And then I went to work for a city that was glorified as, the richest city and all of these amazing movie stars. But I learned very quickly that there was a lot of poverty as well in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
There was a lot of families that were living 8, 10, 12 people in a 1-bedroom apartment. And I got to teach those kids how to swim. And I got to see those kids in my after-school programs. And I started to see that the book of any city is very, very well written if you just decide to look at what's written. And so...
Can you explain? Is that an actual book or is that kind of like a metaphor? Can you explain that to us?
I think of it as every adventure is a story,
Okay.
know? And
Okay.
My mom always taught me that you have to hear people's stories to really understand what they are and who they are.
Definitely.
And so I kind of took that thought process and took it into my field of work, and I started to see that there was issues in every city, no matter how affluent the city was.
Yeah.
Right. And
I like that.
Yeah, because people will say, "Oh, I work or I live in an affluent city." Well, every city has poor people. Every city has people in need. Every city has a problem.
Facts. Yeah.
And so Beverly Hills provided some amazing opportunities. I got to do everything from aquatics to after-school programs to teen programs to cheer programs. I mean, just really a cool variety, but it taught me how to work within contracts too and fee-based programs, which I think was really kind of the kickoff of going, oh, there's services that are like pay to play. And it kind of started making me go, oh, where are the free services? Like, are there free services? What if people can't pay? Like, how come they don't get to play?
Okay.
So
you said FINE? What was
they're called fee-based programs.
Fee-based programs,
which are phenomenal.
Okay.
Phenomenal because it also provides an opportunity for a city to bring in an expert. So, for example, let me give you an example of if I wanted Bollywood dancing to be taught at the rec centers, but I don't have a staff that is trained professionally in Bollywood, I'm not giving that experience. But I can pay somebody to bring in, and I have to charge the customer because I have to recoup some of those costs. That becomes a fee-based program.
Gotcha.
So I went to Irvine after 9 years, actually. I waited to see if Parks and Rec was what I wanted to do. I went to school. I was a dance major.
Okay.
And
What style was your favorite?
Jazz and modern.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is the jazz hands a real thing?
It is.
Okay.
It's so sad that I say that. My dance teachers are looking down on me. So, yeah, I took a year and a half off because I got a job with a friend who started a student travel company.
Okay.
And I love travel. It's always been a big part of my life. And so I went and worked for summer winter action tours for almost 2 years.
Wow. Dancing.
No, selling trips. And so I
Oh,
sold
wow.
high school
Wow.
grad trips and college spring break, winter break trips to Mexico and all over the United States.
Wow.
And it was a great time in my life. I think I partied a little too much.
Okay.
My liver suffered drastically.
Okay, got you. Kidneys.
And after 2 years, I had moved to Orange County at the time, and I kind of sat down one night and I said, how am I improving quality of life? Like, how am I making people's lives better? I'm not, and people can travel without me. And so I decided to go from making a 6-figure career to in sales to a part-time job with the City of Irvine as a facility leader. And my job was to set up chairs and tables for the church rental groups at Deerfield Community Park in Irvine. I had 2 wonderful people, Bonnie Grant and Bill Sellen, that believed in me and hired me. And I escalated my career in Irvine. I was a generalist. Any opportunity that came, I took it. So I did contract classes, brochure development, after-school programs. And then there was a budget cut.
It's always a budget cut.
And my manager came in and said, we're moving you to seniors.
Oh, instead of getting fired, you got promoted.
No, it's just a lateral. But seniors in Parks and Recreation is, in a sense, if you don't know seniors and you don't love seniors.
Oh, senior citizens.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I got you.
It's almost considered a punishment to some.
Oh, got you.
And that's how I saw it. And my manager knew I was going to catapult my career by going to seniors, and he wanted that experience for me, but I didn't see it. So thank you, Darren Lowry. And I cried for 3 months straight. I would come home and I would cry every day.
Dealing with the seniors.
They were so hard. They were so critical. Everybody knew the mayor. Everybody was going to write a letter to the mayor. And I started to kind of really flip my tone when I went to a conference for Parks and Recreation. It was a 3-day conference. And there was only one session on seniors. And it made me go, why? Why is there only one educational session for all California Parks and Rec professionals?
All of California? Wow.
And I went to the director of California Parks and Recreation Society, and I said, this has to change. And she said, then do it. So I became the premier speaker on baby boomer marketing and programming.
Cool.
And as soon as that happened, that was the spark. That was for me when I started going, okay, we need to make a change. And what I came down to was programming is programming. It doesn't matter the age.
Okay, facts.
Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is public service also is public service.
Yeah.
There's no color, gender, race, ethnicity, whatever, that's going to make me treated differently. I am here to make the greater good better, right? And so once that light switch went on, then it was really more about let's get other people on this train. Let's get people excited about senior services. We have a beautiful now, wonderful section. It's the aging adult section and senior services for California Parks and Rec. There is guaranteed highlighted sessions every year. They do senior symposiums, and I really believe that I was part of that kickoff of really educating people and people having a passion for going to seniors. And now in almost all of my educational sessions, I always tell people if you ever want to promote to the director, you have to go do a stint in seniors. I really learned in seniors. I learned quite a few things, but I'd say number 1 is you learn politics, which is crucial as a director.
Politics in the senior citizen community?
The city, just city
in
government.
general. Because they're so informed about politics?
Well, yeah, and they show up to council meetings.
They're probably the most people that do show up to.
Absolutely,
Okay.
the most vocal. The most vocal because they have this ownership.
Gotcha.
Ownership,
Yeah.
right? And it's a beautiful thing. I think everybody should do it. I don't understand why it takes you to be a senior. Why do you have to be 50 plus to show up and care?
I think TikTok's taking our attention right now.
And then the other thing that I learned is the quality of life cycle. And so for Parks and Rec professionals, the formula was missing senior services before. And I think now when I look at it and what I teach is if you work in Parks and Rec as an early education teacher, preschool teacher in a preschool program,
Yes.
they're babies. They come to you. Some of them are learning how to walk. Some of them are learning how to read. You get the school readiness aspect, and then you move into kindergarten through 6th grade. So it's after school programs.
Okay.
So then you move into after school programs, and they get to learn decision making, socialization, all of these wonderful things. And then they go into the teen programs. This is where they learn about character building. This is where they learn about right and wrong. This is where they learn about what processes you want to have as a future good person in society. And then they graduate high school, and then they come back and work for you. We recycle, right? We get them to work for us, and then all of a sudden they have parents, right?
Yep.
Who have older parents.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
then we work within the family unit, and we get those grandparents to come into the senior centers. And then we look at the grandparents who are aging at a rate that is incredible. I've seen some 101-year-olds.
Awesome.
And but when we get to the seniors, they don't get to come back. There's no more recycle after that. So the senior centers are the last stop for improving quality of life. And I think there is a great respect that should be given to anybody that works in senior services because they don't get any hope to have them go into yet another program. Senior services gets them when they might be a young senior, but that's the senior center where they're going to stop, right?
That's
they're going
the
to
end.
continue coming until they can't come anymore. And so I have a deep passion for adult and aging services. I think it's so important. And now seniors are doing things that 18-year-olds can't even do. So it's amazing.
Hey.
I have seniors that are running marathons. I'm like, okay, I did that in my 20s. I'm not doing that again.
Not today.
But so yeah, that was Irvine. Irvine kind of was awesome because I got to do the senior thing, and then I just got to a point with Irvine where I knew there was no more upward mobility for me. Everybody that was kind of above me was either my age or younger, you know, or going to stick it out through their retirement.
Gotcha. They're
right?
just gonna,
So there was no placement, and that's not a good or a bad thing. It was time.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity with Mission Viejo, a few miles down the street. They offered me a manager position, and that was very different. I went from working for a master plan city in Irvine, which has every program, every building, everything is master planned, which is a beautiful thing. It can get tricky, but it's a beautiful thing to have a plan.
And it's managing for Parks and Rec? Okay.
And then I went to Mission Viejo, which is a contract private service city. And so...
Wow. What does that mean?
That means that almost every program is pay to play.
Wow. Wow.
That means that there is very few staff-led programs. So in Irvine, my camp's 400, 500 kids throughout the city. Mission Viejo, only contractors handled camps.
Wow.
And so you're managing a lot of contracts, which again, great learning opportunity. But very cool opportunity too, because their rec centers were very different. They were run because of a private model. They were run like a 24-hour fitness. So a membership based.
Interesting.
So high community involvement, 10,000 memberships.
Wow.
But run like a 24-hour fitness.
Wow.
So it's, fitness equipment and pools and tennis courts and all the things that would be recreation, but people are paying for it and they have a monthly membership and it's part of their process. Wow. And so very different.
What would a kid do or a family do if they're like a low income family and they can't afford that and they want to be involved? What happens in that situation?
It's very rare that we even hear about it, in Mission Viejo. And that's, again, it's not unheard of. There are scholarship opportunities if somebody approaches and says, I need help. But in my 7 years there, I think I had 2 requests for scholarships.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the opportunity then came. I really wanted a directorship. I was ready to be a director. And I interviewed for quite a few cities and just wasn't the right fit. And it just kind of wore down on me. COVID happened and I was like, you know what? Is it COVID? Is it me? What are we doing? And then I got a call from a recruiter for San Bernardino and said, I think you're making a mistake if you don't apply for this. I think you need to be applying for this. And so
they told you that.
Yeah. And so I put in my application and the rest is history.
Wow. And now we're here today.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. There was one thing that stuck to me besides, obviously you can tell like how much passion you have for seniors. And it made me immediately think of like, I guess ageism, it really is a thing, and forgetting about it, especially like in American culture, that's like a real thing to forget about the elderly, not respect the elderly, not, there's nursing homes, right, for example. And it made me think of, because I've been watching the show Golden Girls. I enjoy it, it's really entertaining. And I think it's an amazing show about these women in their golden years, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is there a TV show that exists now that's like that? Or is there anything like that now? Can we make more shows like that?
There is. It's Frankie and I don't...
Gracie or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
My mom loves it.
Okay.
My mom's 75. She's a badass. Excuse my language.
Right, go ahead. You're fine.
She's my inspiration. She's my light for everything.
Gotcha.
She's an amazing woman, and I see her in her 70s just doing so many great things.
Killing the game. Give a shout out to Mom.
Mom, I love you.
Hit that camera right there.
Mom, I love you. I talk to my mom every single day. She's a big part of my life, but when I was at the senior center, I would say 90% of my programs were created through my mom. Because I would call her and say, what would you think about this? What would you think about that?
Nice.
And that, when I was working there, was when the first baby boomer was announced, right? Like,
interesting.
We got the very first baby boomer. I was 2008, I want to say. And so, when the first baby boomer that turned 65, right? And so it's like, wow, this huge thing, because the largest generation, I think the count was 17,000 baby boomers turned 65 every day for the next 20 years.
Wow.
That's who's going to be coming to our senior centers.
Wow.
So senior centers had to shift, right? We were working with like elderly programs, canes, nutrition programs, people who couldn't walk. To all of a sudden it's like computer generation, and it was crazy. Like the programs that we were doing were like Zumba and like
for the seniors.
Yes, things that had never been. I mean, chair exercise was as far as we had gotten with exercise, and then all of a sudden,
chair exercise.
They
just let's up and down.
Literally, yes, because there's people who have very low
bad
mobility.
Knees.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a great program, but all of a sudden there was two identities. It was the older seniors and the baby boomers. And so there was a identity shift, I think, in senior programming. So yes, ageism, all of it is around. I thought the coolest thing about working at the senior center, though, was that I started to see that there was a lot of really well-educated and inspirational individuals who could give back to the senior center.
Awesome.
Especially new retirees. So that was a great opportunity for us to find volunteers to connect with some of the older seniors. And so it was really just another challenge that turned into an opportunity.
Ooh. I'm going to ask a question, but two things. So baby boomers are basically the kids after World War II, right? Gotcha. Yeah. Parents were getting down.
Yeah, everybody came home and started doing the thing.
I miss you. Show me. Don't tell me, show me.
There's more babies.
Don't tell me, show me. What made me think, because you said your mom was a hairdresser. So I could imagine she would never let you, or do you have siblings?
Yes.
Let you or your siblings leave with messy hair, right? She'd probably get on you. Did she still get on you to this day about hair?
Yes. So she still does my hair, and she requires a FaceTime call at least once a week to see how my roots are doing.
Okay, wow.
And then she reminds me that, oh my God, I can see your gray hair through the phone. We need to do the color because people know that I do your hair.
Oh, wow. She's serious. Woo. Woo.
She lets it fly, too. She's no shame in her.
She's like, no. Video chat me.
She says, you know that people know that I do your hair. I was like, is it about my hair or about you?
She's like, reputation over anything. Yeah, reputation over anything.
Yep.
I love it. So, as a director of parks, I think how many parks are in the San Bernardino County, right? That you do?
City.
The city, okay. Got to clarify that, right?
Yep.
That's really important, right?
So we have technically 33, and that's not counting pocket parks or neighborhood little parklets that we have. So,
okay.
But officially 33 parks.
Wow. Gotcha. And I'm assuming there's like different permits and stuff like that required for each one?
So the permits are pretty general. It's,
okay.
If there's a gazebo or a picnic shelter, then you can rent that out. We're just starting to really evolve our rental space because we want to start adding things like if we can do a party at the splash pad. Is there an opportunity for us to rent out the splash pad? Or if there's an amphitheater, like at Vertimont, there's like this really cool built-in amphitheater in the grass. Is that a rentable space? So we're really starting to look at all of our parks in a little bit different perspective, different lens, just to kind of see what could we do with this space. And maybe the community wants to see it. We just haven't given them the opportunity to see it in this lens. And so that's really going to be a big part of our master plan that's going to be starting in January. Council approved it. Thank you, Council. And, we've got $1 million within the next 2 budget cycles to be able to get this master plan off the ground. And a master plan is really the only way a city can really move forward strategically. And so the last time a Parks and Rec master plan was done was 2010.
Okay, 12 years ago. Gotcha. Can we hear a little bit about what the master plan is?
So a master plan, in a sense, is just a strategic guide that allows the community to provide input and be able to say what they would like to see in the next 5 to 10 years. And through that input process, then the city is able to work with the consultant that's hired to be able to really strategize and put a guide, a living document with goals and benchmarks that will get us to hit what the plan was put in place. The beauty of a master plan, at least the ones that I have worked on and the ones that I will continue to work on, is it has to be input driven. It cannot be city people who do not live in the city that are putting together a plan for what is best for the city.
Got you.
It has to be the community. And so when we go out for the master plan and we announce our community meetings, I need everybody to come out.
Awesome. And so we have to go to the community meetings in order to get your input.
But there'll be different ways. You can't make it to community meetings. There's ways for you to fill out surveys online. There's going to be so many different options. We're going to be looking at digital apps on the phones as well. So, yeah, this will be a real full court press process on this.
How can people find out information in order to know when these things will be available?
So we just got approved with the new budget year started. And so our RFP is scheduled to go out, and that's a request for proposal to different consultant groups that will go out in September. And so the goal is by January that we can do a kickoff. You will know a few different ways. One, our website will be loud and clear. The master plan is starting. 2, we'll be working with every neighborhood association to make sure that their areas are covered. 3, we'll be working with all the community centers, senior centers, and then all of our community groups. So the little leagues, everybody will have a piece of the pie. And there will be different elements to the master plan. It won't just be building sites or fixing sites. It's going to be looking at new spaces and what are some opportunities for growth. And, one of my biggest pushes is to do arts and recreation. I believe I want an ARC, which is an arts and recreation center. And I think that downtown is a beautiful area, and we need that down here.
Definitely.
And so to be able to work with our community economic development director and be able to really strategize on what are some really cool, innovative opportunities. That's really what the master plan is for. Because once it's written and once it's approved, it's a really great way for us to go back to council every year and say, this is why this is on the CIP plan this year, and this is why the budgeted funds are here to do this. The community wanted it, and so let's do it and let's get it done.
Let's give them what they want.
Not just what they want, what they need.
Gotcha.
We need to thrive.
100%.
This is a city that has been through a lot of hurt.
A lot.
And
talking about San Bernardino people.
Yeah, and being an outsider, it breaks my heart
to see it, right? Especially coming from Irvine, Beverly Hills, et cetera, et cetera.
Come on, Irvine has every blade of grass is the same size, right? It's
wow.
the same color.
Got you.
When I first got here, and I lived in LA, so for me, homeless and different situations like I see here, not new. But the stories and the way that my people are being impacted, and to hear from my staff, who the majority live, work, and play in the city.
Yep.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy to me. And it makes me just so happy to be here, because I know that I can do some good things here. And I've got a great team to do it with.
Ooh, let's get it rocking. So we're in downtown San Bernardino, right?
Yep.
Isn't there like a park right here on the corner or something like that? Or like a
Court
gazebo?
Street.
Court Street, right? I think like when I first moved down here, because I'm not a native San Bernardino,
Okay.
but when I first moved down here, there used to be like bands playing. It's like a gazebo right there, right? Isn't there? So
And a stage.
And a stage. So what happened to that place?
That's what happened to every place in San Bernardino.
In San Bernardino.
I think,
Okay.
I think the bankruptcy did a number,
Okay.
and that's not necessarily the excuse. It's the reason. That's what I say. So we have to respond now.
Okay.
We are no longer in recovery. It's time to respond. We've recovered,
Okay.
right? We've been given the opportunity. Federal government sees us. State government sees us. They see us. We're winning these grant applications now. That hasn't been happening in the past.
Ooh.
So money's starting to come in. So fixes are coming, but again, that's the master plan. There has to be a book, or else it's going to be everybody saying, well, I want this and I want that. But okay, well, that's 3 people. I've got 225,000 other people. And I need to get those voices.
Yeah, got to get all of them.
Hear all of them, right?
Yeah.
And then once I hear all of them, we got to make like an assessment of how do we prioritize,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
And so Court Street is a magical area. We're going to do some really cool stuff there during the holiday.
Okay. Can we get a little tips? Can we get a little no sneak peeks? Oh.
I can.
Okay.
We're doing a Santa's Village.
Ah.
Yeah, so the holidays are going to be really bright. I will
Okay.
say that here, and then I'm not going to give my secret away, but we're going to add a really cool splash.
Okay.
Yeah,
A
so
splash.
we will be
Okay.
doing our tree lighting on Thursday, December 1st.
Okay.
25-foot tree, and it's going to have all the fixins.
Off of Court Street right here?
Uh-huh.
You guys hear that? December
First.
1st, Court Street. God bless you. God bless you. God
good
bless
luck
you.
sneeze.
God bless you. December 1st,
Yes.
Court Street.
And
Christmas
for
tree
more
lighting, right?
information, you guys can be on our social media and on our website, sbcity.org/parks, or SB City Parks on social media. And yeah, we are really starting, and I think people are starting to see it. At least I think they are, because I'm getting the comments. People are emailing me and saying, I see you. I see the work that's being done. So the department is just phenomenal, and the staff are super excited. And so, our holiday plan is going to be pretty rad.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Super excited. Super excited. So say, I know a lot of musicians and stuff like that. So if people want to get like their band to play on there, they just have to get like a permit through you guys?
Yeah. For the most part, if it's just to kind of do a rental just like that with, again, that 150 people, we can do that. Or it's great if there's bands or artists or performers of any kind that have interest in performing.
Yeah.
Almost all of our events have a stage of some sort. So for
Okay.
example, we did the summer concert series this summer. We did them at Roosevelt Bowl, 6 concerts, 2-hour shows. It was awesome.
Cool.
Right? So there's always going to be opportunity for artists to showcase their talents. We just kind of got to be able to put them in our system and figure out where we're going to fit them best.
Gotcha. And they just have to go online to be able to get in there? Okay.
Yeah.
And they can like email someone or...
If you go to our website, sbcity.org/parks, /parks, you'll be able to see our vendor applications for our events. And that's usually the best place to
Gotcha.
go.
And so performers like musicians would be considered vendors?
Yes, unless it specifically says music performers.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Never thought about that. I think a lot of musicians never thought that, we're considered vendors in a certain way.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're not. They're considered, entertainment.
Yeah, yeah.
But it depends on the event. So it's like we want to make sure we get them into our vendor contact list. So then that way, every time there's an opportunity, we can send out a mass email and say, hey, there's this opportunity, this event. We need performers. Who's interested?
Uh-huh.
That
I
kind of
love
thing.
it.
So it's more creating an interest list. And I would be lying if I told you exactly what the category was. But
No
I'm
worries.
sure it says artists.
No
of some
worries.
sort.
And do the musicians have to pay to be involved? Do they get paid?
Yeah, our summer concert series, we paid them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
You hear that, guys?
And there's always opportunities. We have the our Arts and Historical Preservation Commission. They just approved with council a $100,000 grant for artists.
Wow.
So the applications are out now. They're due August 15th. And so I highly recommend, again, go to the website and see the scholarship opportunities that we have. And there's really opportunities for any type of art to be highlighted and to have assistance. So that way they can either sell their art or at least showcase it.
Gotcha. Keep performing.
Yes.
Gotcha. I think the Empire Podcast might have to get into that.
Uh-oh.
Awesome. Oh man, that's beautiful information, ladies and gentlemen. So for there's parks that are different sizes, right? Do they each get equal funding, or is it different funding per each park?
Oh gosh, no, it's different funding for each park. And
Okay.
There's a lot more that goes into it with just the size of it. There's the maintenance of it. If it's got a green field, there's irrigation, so that's maintenance, right? If there's a building in it and things fall apart, that's maintenance. If there's a splash pad, then that's an aquatics situation that requires a pump room and
Gotcha.
chemicals and everything. That goes into it.
Yeah.
Right. So everything. There's bathrooms. It requires maintenance.
Yes.
Right. So we have to be able to really look at the whole picture, and I think that that's a big educational component that a lot of people don't see. I have heard that people say, "Oh, well, you can just fix a bathroom by going to Home Depot and getting a toilet." No.
Says who?
No, we can't. We've got to be able to really look at how our bathrooms have been destroyed, and
That's a key word, destroyed.
I've never seen anything like it.
Gotcha. Because people have no respect.
None.
Gotcha.
None. And this is not just a homeless issue.
Oh, 100% not. 100% not.
I think, to be honest with you, it's kind of a health crisis. I am a believer of parks.
Okay.
And I believe that every green space deserves a potty.
Please? Yeah.
Right? And it's sad because we have to keep them closed, because if we don't, then they get destroyed.
Gotcha.
And so we're really looking at some innovative new models right now with our Public Works Department. There's a lot of really great companies that do these prefabricated bathrooms that are a little bit smaller and tighter in space, but they allow you to do the business you need to do in a bathroom and then get out.
Okay.
Hand washing stations on the outside. So that way people aren't making it a living quarters. People aren't washing their clothes inside and then making it their home. Or people aren't just going in and shooting up drugs or doing illegal things.
God knows what.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the least amount of space that you provide them,
The least they can do.
there you go. And so
Gotcha.
we have a bathroom replacement plan in the city. And I was just meeting with Public Works yesterday if we're going to do a full assessment of all the restrooms in the city that are in our public parks and really start looking at prioritizing which ones need to be replaced immediately.
Gotcha. Wow. I just had like an idea. But it's a little bit more technological.
Yeah.
And because I guess the hardest part is finding out like who was destroying the bathrooms, right? We don't have any idea.
Nope.
How cool would it be if, like, in order to enter a bathroom, someone had to put like their state ID up in order to enter the bathroom? Do you see where I'm going with it?
I do, but unfortunately that would require wire and electrical, and everything that's wire and electrical gets pulled out here in the city.
Really? Really?
Yeah, it's sad because they can be resold for change. We just had the Butler building broken into yesterday, and that one was by homeless.
What's the Butler building for people who don't
The
know?
Butler building was a storage facility at Second Lake Park.
Okay.
It was where we stored all of our equipment for janitorial services and landscape services at one point. A maintenance building is where a pump room for the aeration of the lake. And it was completely gutted yesterday,
Wow.
and so $300,000 worth of damage for
Wow.
maybe $10 of what they got in change for the copper wiring that they stole.
That's all they went was for copper wire. Wow.
Yeah. And so that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with that people don't see,
Okay.
And it's a sad day. It's a sad day for our maintenance guys who work tremendously hard to make sure that our city stays awake
Yeah.
and that our city is usable, and that we don't make it so people don't want to come here. And so when properties are destroyed, it really is sad. But the solution is there.
Yeah.
Again, it's just that prioritizing and that master planning and really putting it down on paper and having a plan and sticking to it and making sure that it's funded, and making the progress.
Gotcha. It's what's so terrible about these incidents, and you're saying them like they're common. It's what
Every day.
Every day?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's so sad because it's like incidents like this make it harder for the people who are trying to do good in the community, trying to enjoy these safe green spaces that you're talking about, right? And it's sad. It's like that old saying where it's like one bad apple ruins the whole pie. Mm-hmm. And so
that could be said for almost anything that's happening. I mean, every department has a bad apple. That's for sure. And I think that's where you have to give kudos to Rob Field. He is our city manager. He has put together a dynamic leadership team.
Okay.
We all are gung-ho to make this city phenomenal.
Okay.
We want to turn this place around, and that's Rob.
Let's do it.
And I think that he deserves a great deal of appreciation. I tell him all the time, thank you for believing in me and allowing me this opportunity, because at the end of the day, we all want to create some sort of legacy, not just for us, but for our teams and for our city, right? And this is, I think, the legacy team. I think this is the team that's going to do it. And it's going to take 10 years.
Gotcha.
But you're already starting to see the changes now.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to continue getting on that train and jumping on board. And that train's going to start real flow.
Gotcha.
Real flow. And once that happens, here's what I've seen. The homeless people who are at our parks a lot of the time are not the problem. It's the people who want to make their lives difficult that are. There are people who are unfortunately in really bad living situations that are still trying to get help, and they want resources.
Okay.
And there's an opportunity for those resources that the city can give them. They just have to know about them, right? And so we're working on that. We have a great team in place to start working on that. But then there's people who are just troublemakers. They want to go right on walls.
Gotcha.
They want to go and kick in a mirror in a bathroom. They want to literally tear out a toilet. They want to go do drugs. They want to do all bad things. And those people, we've got to be able to take care of that situation as best as we can as well. And there's no secret formula to it.
Nope.
But I do know that I've had homeless individuals where I've said, hey, we're doing an event here this weekend. I'm going to have young families, young kids. I don't want them scared. So you can be a part of this event, but you can't live in the event.
Okay. And what's the response usually?
No problem.
All right.
No problem. I've not had one homeless issue problem in 7 months.
Gotcha.
I tell the staff all the time, that's the approach we got to have. We don't know their situation.
Yeah, you just have to come with respect.
I'm not saying I'm better.
Yeah.
You're worse. No, I'm saying this is what I'm working with. And you need to respect my space. And I will respect your life.
Yeah, it's just that simple.
Right?
Yeah.
You just can't live in my event when I have people here. I don't want little kids scared.
100% uncomfortable. It ruins everything.
The reality is there's homeless people everywhere. We're not going to fix that problem.
Yeah.
But we can fix the way we approach people.
Mm-hmm.
And again, our job in Parks and Rec is to make life better.
Gotcha. So there is a homeless issue with living in the parks then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not just the parks. It's throughout the city.
100%.
Downtown is...
flooded.
Yeah. But it's getting better.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to come to work and my front office window I'd have the morning train is what I called it.
Got you.
You know, the
people in the blankets.
People that were being moved from one location to the next, and they just go down, and now it's 2 or 3. It's not a whole train of people.
Got you. You had your own personal metro.
I'm hoping that individuals got resources.
Okay. And you were saying earlier that some people who are homeless have like some issues and they're just missing the information, right? Do you know how they can find some of that information?
Yeah, we have a homeless outreach team, and I should know the website, but it's all through our police department.
Okay.
They've done so much great work. I mean, just the stuff that, and we just last week we met with them to actually put new signs out in the parks and around the heavy homeless areas that actually has a QR code for resources.
Oh, wow.
We've learned that a lot of the homeless have technology.
Yeah, because they're giving free phones away.
So we figure if we can at least give them a QR code or a phone number where they can, if they want the help, they can't say that we didn't provide at least a resource for them.
Gotcha.
So there is that's coming. And, we're just going to, again, it has to be case by case. We have to be
100%.
able to work it out. And we're not looking to solve it. We're looking to just make it better.
Gotcha. Step by step, day by day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows anyone who is struggling with homelessness or anything like that, there's QR codes to the park, you
Yeah,
said?
we're going to be putting them out here in the next couple of weeks.
Wow. So be aware of that. There's ways, and I'm pretty sure.
PD has a homeless outreach, and they are able to provide resources. So contact our police department.
Contact the police department. That's what I wanted to say. What's his name? Oh, I want to say Josh, but I think that's the wrong name. Mm-hmm. The one who is putting together the best team for San Bernardino. Rob. Mm-hmm. Shout out to you, Rob.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to you, making your Avengers.
Yes.
Here.
Definitely.
So I also wanted to ask, so do dog parks count, skate parks, do all those type of different parks count as under your
Parks and
umbrella?
Rec. Yep.
Okay.
I got all of them.
Okay. What is there anything other besides dogs, skate parks? Is there anything else besides that?
Theaters.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
So
like an outside theater?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we have the Norton Galaxy Theater, which is completely run down now, but it's still one of our facilities. The Roosevelt Amphitheater, which is kind of like a mini Hollywood Bowl. Yeah. These are you all have some of the most amazing historical facilities in this city, which is also another one of my favorite thing. I know that they're looking at the California Theater as another opportunity to rebuild and regrow. So a lot of really cool investments that are going to be coming down, especially in the arts.
Crazy. So question, Paris Hill Park, which is right here off of Highland, if it has a lot of tennis courts, right? But if someone's like, I like basketball, can we build a basketball court there? What is...
So yes, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, you can build anything anywhere. I mean, you just have to have the vision and you have to, the funding, but you have to also ask yourself, what is going to be attracted to that basketball court?
Okay.
So Paris Hill has a lot of activity.
Okay.
It is not good. And basketball courts that are open might not enhance that opportunity to fix the problem first. So I would say probably not the best place for a basketball court.
Gotcha. Going back to the homelessness for the...
Homeless, gangs.
Okay.
We've had shootings there.
Okay.
Frequently.
Okay, at Paris Hill Park.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's any open stuff like that, it's just not the time for it right now.
Okay.
So the pool is there. The tennis pickleball court combos are there. The Roosevelt Amphitheater is there. Fiscalini Field is there. There's a lot of really good activity.
Isn't there like a hike trail there too?
There's the big trail.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of good physical fitness. And it's not saying that a basketball court couldn't go there later. But I think we need to analyze why this activity that's negative continues to happen, even though we have all of these positive offerings going on. Senior centers are there. YMCA is there.
It's a huge park. Okay.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Massive. And I think that's another thing that people just think it's just this open park that's attached to a street. It's got so much.
It really does.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're actually doing Paris Hill Senior Center. We're doing the kitchen. No, the 5th Street Senior Center is getting the kitchen. Then Paris Hill is getting their parking lot. They just redid the Paris Hill Senior Center. So there's a couple of different improvements. And then we're adding, really excited actually, about adding the pool heater. So it'll be the very first pool heater in San Bernardino.
Got you. The one in Paris?
Yes.
Paris Hill Park? Okay.
In over, I think, 30 years.
Wow. So we could have like night swimming or something like that? Or winter swimming?
Year-round swimming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So very excited. I have a big aquatics background. Like I said, I started in aquatics. And so I was appalled to find out that there was no heaters in the city, in the pools.
Got you.
It's the statistics that Black and brown children drown more often than white children is astronomical.
Because most of those communities don't have pools.
There's no access.
Yeah.
We have 6.
In San Bernardino? Wow, I thought Paris was the only one.
No.
Wow.
We have 6.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the city manager is on board. I say we're going to fire up the city because we need the waters to heat up. So we're going to start with Jerry Lewis, and we're hopeful that in 2023, in the new year, we'll have our new heater in, and we might be able to kick off some holiday swim hours. So it'll be great, and we'll be able to offer year-round swim classes.
Would it be for all 6 parks?
Well, we're going to start with 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then see how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
And eventually, we should be year-round with heaters in every pool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Super cool idea.
The more you can give access, the more opportunity it gives you to never have to pick up a drowning child.
Yeah.
A pool.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. The way my grandpa taught us, my grandpa's old school, he's from Puerto Rico. He's like, okay, here's the ocean. Throw you in.
Same.
Boom. You'll figure it out.
Same.
You'll figure it out. I guess some things never go old, but...
Yeah, my mom was a near drowning victim when she was a teenager. And so she vowed that when she would have children that they would swim before they walked. And so she put us in as many bodies of water as possible. And it worked out well. Both of my brother and I were competitive swimmers in college.
Got you. Wow.
I keep telling her, I'm like, you had your plan in place before we were born.
It's like, yeah, it's not happening to my babies. My babies. And you learned how to swim in France, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Have you been back to France?
I did, yeah. We used to go back every year, and then, life happened. I had children.
Of course.
And it gets real expensive to put 5 of us on an airplane versus 1 of us.
Yeah.
So
Mommy will be back, babies.
Yeah, it was 2014 was when I was there, or 16 when I was there last.
Got you.
Yeah.
Side note, what's the difference culturally you would tell people who've never been to France or, and who fantasize about it? What would you say is different, and what do you like about France that you wish America had?
So I think, Europe in general is old.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And so...
And they maintain it.
Yeah, partly, yes.
Okay.
No, I mean, Europe has problems too,
right?
And
yes.
So I think for me, the biggest difference is you see, you have the ability, if you're in Europe, to be walking in a relic working city is what I like to say.
Okay,
so if you're
I like
in
that.
Paris.
Cobblestone.
Yes, you got cobblestone streets and castles and all of these beautiful things that were around in the 1400s, and you got, Louis the 14th and all this stuff. And then, but wait, there's like a McDonald's, so it's a working city in relics, and I love that. And there aren't very many cities in the U.S. that have that. New York is probably the closest Boston to, so it's...
Boston. You said it with the accent, too. How did you do that?
I love Boston.
Okay, where you live there? Did you ever live there?
No, it's just one of my favorite. It's probably the one I visited the most.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so I just love feeling like you're in... I love feeling like you're like walking in history. So see that picture right there, that art piece.
Okay.
That's
in the
walking
rain.
in the rain in Paris.
Uh-huh.
And I had an artist at my senior center in Irvine, and I was telling her that I was shopping in Paris, and all of a sudden, downpour rain, and so she commissioned that painting for me.
Wow. It's a beautiful painting, too.
So I always say, in France, we have a saying about, the rooster is our country's, symbol animal.
Okay.
Right? And so I'm from the South in France, which is kind of like the South, I guess, in the U.S. We have a twang, and we're a little off the beaten path, I guess. But
is south of France close to the north of Italy? Or is my
Spain.
Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we always say that to be like a rooster is a beautiful thing because you can have your feet in shit, but you can still sing every morning.
I like it.
And so...
can you say that in actual language? Can you say that the slang in actual language?
Gosh.
Por favor.
C'est facile d'être une... I don't even know how to say rooster. L'animal qui a le pied dans la merde, mais tu peux quand même chanter dans le matin.
Awesome. That language is so cool.
So, yeah, no, it's... I always think of that when I think of historical cities is what what are the stories of the people whose feet have crossed this path, right? And when you see cobblestone streets, I think it kind of, the immigrants that cross through New York and just the histories that they have, which is really cool because I see a lot of that here.
In San Bernardino.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of coming here from where I came from, as far as like Mission Viejo and Irvine. All the streets look the same. The houses look the same. Everything's master planned, right?
Got you.
Here, there's culture and there's
character.
uniqueness. Yes. I love it. I love just walking down Court Street and in the alleyway and seeing red brick buildings and seeing that, even seeing like the artistic like City Hall building.
Yeah.
I mean, these are architectural beauties.
Yeah. They're old. You can see the oldness.
But you don't see that quite often here in Southern California. You just don't. You go to LA, you can see some old things, but I think it's kind of part of our uniqueness here in San Bernardino, and it's cool to be a part of and be in the middle of it.
And San Bernardino is an old city, like going back to like Route 66 and stuff like that, right? Would Parks and Rec have any type of relation with Route 66?
Relation is we partner up with them to provide them, Parks and Rec booth and an opportunity for programs and things like that. Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
We work with the chamber and we make sure that we support them whichever way they need us to.
Wow, because that's like a historical thing as well, right? Wow. Crazy. A lot of people don't think that San Bernardino is really historic. We just think, oh, San Bernardino.
Oh, no. And that's a part of this event that we're doing in October, is just highlighting the culture, the history, the art, the music.
Can you talk a little bit more about the event?
Yes.
What's going to be happening in October?
We have definitely committed ourselves now to this citywide event. It's going to be our city signature event. It's called the San Bernardino Festival. It'll be on October 8th at the historic Seckham Lake Park. And we're excited because people are like, why would you do it at Seckham Lake? Because that's pretty much the center of our heart here.
Is that the one off Waterman?
It's off of Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got the lake. So we are excited. So the San Bernardino Festival, where our cultures connect, is our tagline. And the focus conversation, what started it all, was that we started talking about how many different cultures are in San Bernardino. And we have beautiful Black culture, Hispanic culture, we have Germans, we have Swedish, we have Chinese, we have Indian, we have all of these amazing world cultures, but yet they don't
come together or have a place to come together,
or they do their own individual events, but nothing comes together. And we thought, well, what if we created villages that created an opportunity for them to come together?
Yeah.
So we're going to have a few different villages at the event. We're going to take over the whole 44 acres of the park.
Wow, 44 acres.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to do the kids' village. We're looking at getting a huge carnival Ferris wheel that's going to come out, carnival games, jumpers. But we're also going to do a kids' stage, which is going to highlight San Bernardino youth entertainment.
Cool.
As well as artists. We're going to have an animal stage or animals village. So
like a petting zoo type of thing?
Oh, beyond petting zoo.
Oh, beyond.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. No, we're going big. So it'll be like everything from highlighting different animals that are in the bird category, hawks, owls, things like that. An alpaca is going to be visiting the event. Yes. And then as well as, your pigs, your chickens, but on top of that, we're also going to add a public safety element. We're going to ask the canine unit from PD to come out and do their show and show us how the canine works. The mounted unit for PD to bring out the horses and see how that all works. The fire dog and see how the fire dog works.
There's really a fire dog? Like the Dalmatian type of?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that was real.
So it's just to show the community that animals are a big part of our system, right? And so that's the Animals Village. Next, you can move into the Food and Merchants Village, where we'll have food from different cultures and communities.
Perfect.
Merchants that are selling tchotchkes to actual cultural items, and that's going to be exciting. The main stage will be in that area as well, where we're commissioning musicians and all sorts of performance arts. We had our meeting yesterday, and I was very excited to hear that we have some Polynesian dancers, as well as the Chinese fire dragon is going to come out and do the dance through the field. That's the exciting part, is no matter where you are in this event, you're going to be able to feel and hear and see and smell culture.
I love it.
Right? And then we have a community partner village, and that's everything from county representatives to nonprofits that are in our community that do nothing but give resources and give opportunities. So that way, anybody that's coming through the event will also be able to be a part of a community through these amazing community partners. We have exhibits and demonstrations where their stage is going to be underneath the historical gazebo at Second Lake. And so that's where you'll see martial arts exhibits, some of those Polynesian dances. And we're just working on just collecting some new vendors and some new ideas. So please go to the website and check it out and be a part of this event. Our goal is to have 5,000 to 10,000 people at this event. And we're excited because it hasn't been done before. And I think that this is a great opportunity. And then the final village is the artist village. And that's one that's going to be really unique because it's separate from the merchants village where things are being sold, where this is going to be interactive art, where the community that attends this event will be able to see artists in action, actually doing interactive art, being able to see what a watercolor painting looks like when it's being done, what it looks like a digital piece is being done, what it looks like when a bamboo piece of wood is being crafted. So those kinds of things that are going to really kind of open people's eyes to go, you know what, San Bernardino isn't just violence and homeless and gangs and dirty. No, it's culture, and it's bright, and it's beautiful, and it's alive. Yeah. And I think that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see this pulse start, and then it's going to grow. And then people are going to feel it. And I can see it in our committee meetings. We went from the first committee meeting where people didn't really quite get it to yesterday where it was like, I got 10 performers and I got this and I got that and I'm putting the flyers out here. And so we want, if you're a restaurant, if you're a merchant, if you're a performer, if you're an artist, if you have something that you want to exhibit, everyone is invited. Go to the website, sbcity.org/parks. We want you there.
Ooh, you hear that, folks? Do it.
October
Look it up.
8th festival. Come on out.
Gotcha. And I'll put the link of the website in the bio so you guys can also find it, click on it and stuff like that. It's super cool. And, going back to what you said, like people only, and I had this conversation with Terrence Stone from Young Visionaries, who also probably would be a good person to have. Young Visionaries probably be really good to have at this event, which is, people, kids, they only know what they know.
Right.
And you have to show people opportunities to grow. And like my mind and my perspective of life changed drastically when I traveled to Europe because you get to see just a different way of life and living, and it just changes your perspective on things. And so I think experience and being exposed does give hope and everything better for that.
I think it'd be really cool to have the experience of having somebody feel like they got a passport into 40 different countries in one day.
Boom. Right down in the home city.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't have to go to LA for it.
We've
got so many amazing community partners. Sisters Making a Difference is going to be there. They're handling our merchants area and helping us with some marketing. Edwin from Chords is going to be there. He's helping us with some of the youth entertainment and all the great work that he does. Josiah Bruni from Music Changing Lives is helping us with some of our entertainment models as well. Not to mention, we have Uplift, we have Making Hope Happen, we have the county. I mean, it's just endless to see all of these amazing community partners that are coming out and saying, I want to be a part of this, I think that it can, and then we have SB Food Fest.
Okay.
They're the ones handling the food merchants, And so these connections that they've made for so many years, and for them to trust us and partner with us, I hope that the community sees that it's not our department. Yeah. It's the city, right?
Working together.
Yes. And it feels so good. Because I tell them all the time, I'm like, I would look like an idiot if I went out there and said, all right, San Bernardino, I know exactly what y'all need.
Here we go.
Let's do it. No.
And then imagine you start speaking in French.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
No, because I get, it's funny. The only thing I will tell you is I might not know San Bernardino, but I know Parks and Rec.
Okay, I like that.
right?
I like that.
And so I get staff that laugh at me because they go, "Oh God, you got that look in your face." I was like, "What's that look that you're going to give us another one of your ideas?" And then I tell them the idea and they go,
They love it.
"Oh, that's so good."
They love it.
Right? But it's the idea that I get from hearing them. Like my ideas come from their stories,
Yeah.
right? And they don't see it or hear it. It's me that goes home at night and goes, "Wait a minute.
What if we did this?
What if we did this?" So, yeah, no, I have a good laugh at some of the staff here because they go, "Oh, you got that look."
They're like, uh-oh. She got that eye. She got that.
Rob says that to me too every time. He's like, "Oh gosh, here she goes. It's another idea."
Here she go. Uh-oh. Here, what you got cracking up in there?
I'm lucky. I'm knocking on wood. I've been really. Everybody's been so supportive. So I got lucky.
I like to think of ideas as gifts from God, especially if, like, say you're sitting right here with me, right, and then all of a sudden you're not thinking about it, but you get an idea about something that could help better change.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? If you weren't thinking about it,
right?
Yeah. If you weren't thinking about it, where did it come from?
Right.
I like to think of them as gifts, especially when they're positive. Will there be like advertising soon? Like, I know they had like banners before and stuff like that.
We're putting it out. Our marketing team, that's who I was talking to before. I was like, we need to get it out there. So yesterday was like our kickoff. So we're on social media now. Our applications are up now. So vendors can go on. We have the live website and I'm going to get that to you. So that way you can plug all of the information in because I don't want to say it wrong.
Got you. Yeah, we'll definitely get it in there.
I believe it's sbfestival.org.
We'll get it for you guys. No worries. So say... going back to parks, say I'm like, because San Bernardino has a lot of big, just empty plots of land and dirt, right? Say I'm someone who's like, "Hey, Lydie, like, I think off of, Fitch Street and Waterman, there's a big empty spot of land. I would like to build a park there because I think it would be great for the community." Are you the person I'd come to talk to you about that?
Yes and no. Again, it's, there's so much more that goes into that.
Yeah.
A lot of plots of land are not owned by the city.
Got
So,
you.
you have to remember that the city is built by people who purchased land, right? And so the city only maintains what it owns, right? And so we have an amazing director of community economic development, Nathan Freeman. He's a just inspirational innovator. I always tell him, I was like, I just need to get into your brain and just figure out how it works because he's just so forward thinking. So he would be the guy that you would talk to first.
Got you. What was the name again?
Nathan over in Community Economic Development.
Okay.
So Nathan Freeman, but he's just been with the city for 2 months.
Okay.
And he's already made some pretty awesome changes. And so he's working on the Carousel Mall demolition and the property management group that's going to be able to develop that area into something that's just going to be phenomenal.
Okay.
Right? And so I'm excited to see what he comes up with and what they come up with, the development company comes up with, because we just had a meeting this morning and people are coming to San Bernardino now and they're buying properties and they're doing things. And so that means more businesses are coming, which means there's more opportunity for people to be here and there's housing that's going up. And so people are going to live in the city.
Okay.
In downtown especially. And so what's this next generation of San Bernardino going to look like?
What's it going to look like?
Right?
Indeed,
and
yeah.
So when you see an empty plot of land, know that they're working on it. He was responsible for rebuilding Riverside downtown.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
okay.
He knows what he's doing. And I think you're going to see some phenomenal things from the community economic development.
Oh, wow. Exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So I would love to say, yes, you could build a park, but I'm not the person.
Got you. He would be closer to the person to speak to. All right. We're coming for you, Nathan. So, you've been involved with parks for almost a decade now, would we say? Over
30
a decade?
years.
30 years, ladies and gentlemen. 32. So she's got experience, and obviously a heart for parks. So, Lydie, why are parks so important for you and to you? I know
the infamous question. I think parks are important for me because they saved my life.
Okay.
Parks and Rec was the community center that made sure I didn't do drugs, that I made better decisions, that gave me a career. So parks for me isn't just a park, it's Parks and Rec.
Okay.
But I also think for me they're important because they are a perfect symbol of open space.
Okay.
And
anyone could come.
In a time where we've been so restricted to space, keep your distance.
Yeah, from the whole pandemic situation.
The only people that benefited were parks, because there was more people using parks than ever before.
During the pandemic?
Uh-huh.
Really?
There was more people using trails than ever before.
Really?
There was more people that opened up what like open space was to them than ever before. And it allowed us as parks and rec professionals to go, see, this is what we've been talking about. Like these spaces are awesome. Use them, right? So I think that's why parks are important, because there's just this hidden gem and they just continue to be better. And sometimes we move parks, but there's always a park. And I don't know anybody that doesn't feel good when they go to the park.
True, yeah.
Right? And even if it's just sitting down, or if it's playing, or if it's going on a playground. My kids don't say, I want to go to the playground. They say, I want to go to the park.
True, yeah. Right? We rarely say playground, yeah.
And so I think it's important to value that. And I'm blessed to have grown around parks people and rec people. My mom was very much an outdoorsy person. Hiking was what I thought was a punishment, but we would go hike all the time. And now I do that with my kids, and my kids know the importance of being outside and having fresh air and enjoying the great outdoors, because we got locked in, and that was really hard for people like me.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I think parks are important. Why I think parks are important for other people is because there's endless science and empirical proof. It's been researched that parks make life better.
Yeah.
And they do more than just make you smile. They actually provide cleaner air. They provide a higher value for your home. They provide a safe place for children to grow. They provide a safe place for seniors to walk. There is no age group or culture or gender that is disrespected in a park. The park doesn't disrespect you.
Yeah.
The park opens its path to you and allows you to come in and enjoy it in all of its richness. And I think that whether it's a park, a trail, a community center, it's always got open arms.
I love that. I love that. Would you or can you recommend like parks in San Bernardino that would be like best for children, best for elderly, best for people who are like interested in playing basketball or
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to give you, actually, because I recommend all of them. But if you look in our brochure, and if you don't have our brochure, it is delivered to every single resident in the city. But if you don't have the brochure, you can also go on our website. And on the last page, we have our parks amenities page. And it tells you exactly every amenity that is in every park. So if you're looking for splash pad, it's going to tell you exactly which parks to go to. If you're looking for playgrounds, it's going to tell you where to go to. Ball fields, any of it. So we have so many for you to take part in and enjoy, and we want to hear about it and take your pictures and hashtag us. We like to use the hashtag proud to be SB with a 2 in the middle. So just make sure that you guys check out all of our parks, and if something's ever wrong with our park, we have a beautiful system called a CRM, and you can get that on our website as well. You can complain. You can put in a complaint or a concern right away, so our parks maintenance guys can see it and go out there and fix it as quickly as we can.
Gotcha. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? You can find the information in the pamphlet on the website, and it's perfect. So whatever you're looking for, you have kids, they want to play on the jungle gym, swings. I miss swings. Swings are awesome. Yeah, you can do that. You mentioned maintenance a lot. I've noticed that. How important is the maintenance people to parks?
We don't do anything without maintenance. They are our heartbeat. And I think it's important to recognize them on a constant basis, because without parks maintenance, we don't have facilities. We don't have bathrooms. We don't have green grass. We don't have little league fields. We don't have buildings that are safe. We don't have senior centers. We don't have anything. We don't have lights. So parks maintenance, whether it's facilities or it's maintenance and operations, they're a godsend to us, and they are the pulse to what we do. And I make sure that whenever I have a request or an idea, before I even send it to my team, I get it to the maintenance guys first and say, what's the impact here? What am I going to do to you guys when this happens or if this happens,
Gotcha. Is this possible?
And they get blamed for so much,
gotcha.
which is so hard,
that they didn't do?
Well, no, they just get the complaints, It's like if a sprinkler's broken, oh my God, these maintenance guys aren't taking care of it. No, they're taking care of the 66 other square miles right now.
That's
so just give it a couple days, we'll get there, And so they have so much work to do, but they're really good at what we do. And they're amazing.
Park maintenance, shout out to you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you for keeping our parks clean and moving and
we are nothing without them.
Gotcha. And have you seen the show Parks and Recs or heard about it? Thoughts? Is that accurate? Thoughts on it?
I get called Leslie Knope quite a bit.
Do you really? Awesome. Gotcha.
So yeah, my husband cracks me up. He always tells me, he's like, I think I married Leslie Knope. So yeah, no, I think it's, people, when it first came out, the Parks and Rec profession was like, oh, they're making fun of us. I was like, this is pretty right on. I mean, it's pretty spot on. There are, endless stories that we could tell, but I think Parks and Rec, the show, did a great job of just kind of actually bringing it to light of like some of this crazy stuff that we deal with in Parks and Recreation. And, we bring out the crazy. So.
I love it. Can you give us one story? I know you said you had a story.
Oh, man.
Just at least one for us.
Okay. Let's see which one I could give you that's appropriate. All right. So we had, I'm not going to tell you what city it was in.
That's fine. Totally fine.
But there was a senior dance, and so it was Thursdays, and these ladies would come in and they'd get all hussied up, makeup,
senior
hair.
citizens.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It was
all
big
right.
time.
Woo.
And then the gentlemen would come in, and it was as if you were at a middle school dance. Like,
wow.
There was the wallflowers, but then there was, maybe the newly widowed men who were, like no longer had a wife, so they had to kind of start their love career all over again.
I got you.
And man, some of these ladies were like vultures. Some of the single ladies, and we would have to break up fights, like senior girl fights.
Fighting over a dude? Fighting over a man? Woo! Yes. Some things never change. Some things never change.
And I always thought it was so funny. I'm like, you're going to break a hip. You need to knock it off.
Oh, it's like, no.
So, yeah, no, I think that's one of my funnest ones is just, being able to go, gosh, I thought we were done with this in middle school. No. No, these were like 70 to 90-year-olds.
Gotcha.
Going at it.
From 8 to 80.
They're like, why are you taking the slow dance with my man? He's not your man. He just became a widower 3 months ago.
It's like, wow. He's got my Bengay on him.
And they can't move fast. So if you can imagine what a senior fight might look like, then you would get the picture
of why this
would be a Parks and Rec episode.
Man, it's like a Timmy.
Like, go get my walker so I can catch up to you.
Wow, I love it. Oh man, that's so great. What a great story. And so if okay, here we go. That's what I was gonna say. Who gets to decide what will be inside of a park?
As far as the amenities?
Yeah.
Okay. A team. It's a team.
Okay.
So it usually, all CIP, capital improvement projects, that is public works. But there are people like myself who are considered the subject matter experts. And so usually the process would be, okay, we are going to build a park. Nicholson Park is a perfect example. Okay. Right? So we got funding for Nicholson Park. So
what is that off of?
You're getting me. Second Street.
Okay.
Yes. Oh God, I hope I said the right street. Anywho, it's in the 6th Ward, and I can tell you that it has been a territory that has been ignored for a long time, and it has become a haven for homeless. We had homeless folks that climbed up to the roof, tore out the AC, popped into the building and took over the building, tore everything out.
Wow, they get creative, don't they?
All the electrical, all the plumbing. It was really sad. That was one of those sad stories that I talked to you about. So when I got here, I was told, nope, we're going to put funding towards this. $8.5 million is going into this. Everything's going to be redone. Wow. So as a subject matter expert, it was my job to decide, okay, what would the playground needs be? What are the baseball fields going to look like? Do we want to do two fields for younger kids, or do we want to do senior, like teen kids too, for the baseball fields? What is the community center going to look like? What kind of opportunities do we want to provide to the community in this center? So when you ask me who decides, it's a team, because there's the finance team, there's the programmatic team, there's the logistics team, and then there's the maintenance team, right?
Gotcha.
And so all of those experts come together to make the final decision, and then we give our ideas to a designing consultant, and then they come up with a design, and we make some edits, and once the design gets approved, then it goes into the construction bid, and then once that's approved, then we start breaking ground.
Cool.
And we are at 99% design for Nicholson, so
Woo!
2023 there will be a shovel in the ground at Nicholson, which is
exciting.
Really, really exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Lydie, so there's so much that you're going on and doing right now. What current projects are you and your team currently working on?
Well, right now we are all festival. We want to make it the biggest, the best that it's ever been.
What was it again?
The San Bernardino Festival, October 8th at Second Lake Park, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Be there. And I forgot to tell you earlier when we were talking about groups. We have a car show, the Suavecito crew is coming out, and they're going to have 20 to 50 old school cars to represent the Route 66 and kind of some of that stuff too. So that's exciting. And then we also have the Go Human, which is part of the general plan 2050 for San Bernardino. They're going to be doing some elements that will allow people that are at the event to give input for what they want in the next 20 years of San Bernardino. So it's pretty exciting when you talk about a general plan like that. So that's also going to be there. So October 8th, San Bernardino Festival, be there or be square. I lost my train of thought. What did you ask me?
We are asking, what are you currently working on?
Okay, so festival is everything right now. And then we're excited. September, we're kicking off the request for proposal for our master plan. So that's been a pretty big project. Second Lake Park got approved for $10.5 million. We just approved the design team. So now they're going to come up with a design for what all those experts came together to think of what we would like to see at Second Lake. We had Pete Aguilar provided us with $1.4 million for Roosevelt Bowl. So we're going to make that a destination facility for large events, artistic events, theatrical events, music events, and weddings.
That's in Parasol Park, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's exciting. The skate park, the Eastside Skate Park, is coming back to life. I'm super excited. So we're collecting RFP designs for that now. So that's due tomorrow, I believe, at noon. So January 2023 is going to be a really big push for putting shovels in the ground. So
I love it.
Lots of really great things. I'm looking over at my list. We're going to do some work at Lytle Creek. The pool heater is coming, and then the big fitness court at Blair Park is also coming with the 10 by 30 foot mural.
Artists already assigned, I bet.
We had a $5,000 grant, and we did a call out for artists, and we had 16 artist submissions, and we selected one, Darren Villegas.
Hey, congratulations, Darren.
Yes.
Wow. Super amazing, super busy. I love it. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Lydie, after everything's said and done, 100 years has passed, what would you like your empire to look like?
I'd like my empire to be a place that is welcoming, that is open, and that is safe.
Gotcha.
And whatever entity that's in, as long as it's welcoming, open, and safe, then I'm good with it. And I know I've done something good. My legacy, I tell my kids all the time, is if I can say that I was a part of making people's lives better, then I did something right.
Amen. I like that. Great empire, great legacy. Lydie, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for allowing me to your office and to your safe space. For anyone who wants to know how to reach you, reach the community, reach the organization, reach the city for Parks and Rec, can you let everybody know through that camera right there how they can reach you? The
website is going to be the easiest place because it has everyone's contact information. So you want to go to www.sbcity.org/parks, and you will have all of our information. And if you want to get a hold of me directly, 909-384-5030. I'm happy to talk to all of you.
Awesome. And is there any like social medias that people can reach?
Yes, all social medias on Facebook and Instagram are SB City Parks.
Awesome. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be in the description too, by the way, if you guys are curious. Lydie, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was awesome. Learned a lot. You know, Mom was the hairstylist. That one's stuck in there. It's stuck in there. It's stuck in there. But I also learned a lot about parks and how it works and the whole process. Super cool. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard wonderful director that we have here in San Bernardino. Thank you guys all for tuning into the podcast. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, we're trying to build this up. Again, my name is Antonio the Miles. Thank you. If you guys weren't here, we wouldn't be here. So we appreciate every single one of you guys who help, support, and are involved with this. So other than that, you guys have a great one, and we will see you in the next one. All right?
Nice.
Peace.
I say it's my duty. Yeah. Is it my will? Yeah. To do what? Yeah. To do is right. I say.
Awesome.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This was really cool. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
All right. Anything else you need from me?
That's it.
All right, boo.
That's it.
Look at that. 2:30. We're good.
Right on the top.
I need to get some tacos.
I know, right? I'm hungry.
I'm like, my burrito's waiting for me.
Right?